What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of CNC. This is episode number 50, and today we are returning with the thank you special for hitting 50 episodes in the series, as we have the season finale in today's episode. Yeah, we're going to play the final 6 championship games and find out whether we're winners, automatically promoted and runners up, or drop into third and drop into the playoffs. So yeah, to start today's stuff, guys, I just want to say real briefly, as we have a scouting update and an academy update, and also look at the league table and our fixtures for April, which are about to enter as well on the back of another international friendly. What was that result there? It went by so quickly, I didn't see it. 6-2. We've got our work cut out with Wales, don't we? Yeah, I just want to say real briefly, 50 episodes in, and if this is the first series of mine you've watched, then firstly, thank you. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're enjoying so far. But yeah, basically, in all of my career mode saves, when we do 50 or 100 episodes in the series, I always make a thank you special. Just a longer video, really, to say thank you for all the incredible support in the series so far. And I have to say, this year of Club and Country, if this is the first CNC of mine you've watched, then, I'm having an absolute thriller with this project, and I'm enjoying it just as much as my main career mode with Brentford and Milan, and I mean that wholeheartedly as well. It really has been a brilliant series with Newport County so far, as we're now 4 years in and about to close out our 4th season after Norwich won their game in hand against Cardiff. Gutted about that. I thought our South Wales rivals were going to do us a favour there. As you see, Alan Bound is going to get our Ibrox for 2 years. I really like that as well. Bound, I'm not giving up on Bound. I'm not giving up on the youngster. 2 years at Ibrox might do him well there. But yeah, I have to say, it's been a brilliant series. I've really enjoyed creating it for you. I'm having an absolute blast playing through the lower leagues and the football league so far. Humphreys has obviously been the star of the show. Rabbi Matondo's been incredible. We've got some great youth players like Lloyd Payne and Lloyd as well, and Tony Matthews. It's just been a brilliant series. I'm really enjoying it. The signing of Ben Davis in League One, I've never done anything like that before. It was so unique, and it's just been a blast, and the support's been great as well. CNCs have been a staple on my channel for many years, and I've done some really fun ones. Scotland and St Johnstone, the original, which was Spain and Racing Santander. I also, that's a terrible accent, I'm sorry. I also took it onto FM for a year, a couple of years ago, and did an Italy and Brescia save, the first one on FM. And it's always been a really fun sort of like side project and challenge-based series to do. And what's always warmed my heart is when I've had comments and messages from you guys saying you've done your own CNCs, and you've managed, I don't know, England and Scunthorpe United, or you've done Scotland and Dundee United, or I don't know, I've had some really cool ones where people have taken it to countries I'd never even thought about doing before, like some Scandinavian nations like Denmark and Sweden, and it's just great, when I see you guys doing your own CNCs and letting me know how you got on and what kind of team you were able to assemble, how many youth players you got through if you're using a nation that doesn't have as many high potential players. It's just been great how many of you guys have taken on this challenge since I began in FIFA 15. It really does warm my heart to know something that I created, so many people have done their own. It's just so much, it's so humbling, to be honest. And this Newport County and Wales project has been one of my favourite CNCs ever. No word of a lie, I've done some really fun ones. LA Galaxy in America in the English football pyramid was an interesting one, same with Scotland and St Johnstone. Paris FC in France, for example, but this has definitely been one of my absolute all-time favourites. The youth players coming through have been great, none better than Gavin, of course. Ben Davis again coming in League One. I've never done anything like that before. Absolutely brilliant, and the support you guys have given me right from the very beginning has been fantastic as well. It's been a more difficult FIFA for me this year. I've talked about it. I've struggled more than in previous FIFAs. We're 4 years in. We still haven't won anything yet, and whilst after Norwich did lose home to Blackburn, we've now gone 6 points clear with 5 games to go. There's still a long way to go in this project before we make Newport County the best team in Europe and Wales the strongest nation in the world. But it's been a great ride, and we've got no plans to slow down anytime soon. So thank you for all the support, guys. Thank you for all the love. Again, 50 episodes in, and I'm sure there's many more to come. So yeah, for the first game, obviously we had a 2-0 win against a side in the playoffs, Bournemouth at Rodney Prate. After 3 wins in 5, great to return to winning ways on the back of the draw at the Den against Millwall. And again, after Norwich lost at home to Blackburn, that now put us 6 points clear of the Canaries with 5 games to go. So that would mean win 3 of our remaining 5 and draw the other one. And we won't just get promoted, we'll be champions. So following game, Peterborough United, the Posh coming to take us on. We thrashed them a reverse fixture at London Road by 5-1. And with the Posh right now down the bottom of the table, I saw this being at home as a banker. I thought it would be a really routine victory. We had the first chance. I think we should have had a penalty on Humphreys. Wasn't given, but fair enough. Then the Posh had their first chance. Great save by Price. Kept it 0-0. But from the corner, we went on the counter. And I've talked about it before. Once this guy gets going, forget about it. And I don't know how many times I've mentioned it, and I really should shut up about it. But Rabbi Matondo, what was I doing for last season? Constantly playing him out of position and saying, no, we don't need to train him as a striker. Yeah, absolute moron, because we know this guy is clearly an out-and-out goal scorer. 35 goals in 42 games. He's got the goal scoring record in the championship. Of course, Ivan Toney holds it, I believe, alongside Glenn Murray. Is that right? With 30, I think it's Toney and Murray, I think. Am I right? If I'm wrong there, guys, please do correct. I think it's Toney and Murray with 30 each. But even so, it's Matondo's now with 35, and there's still games to go. But again, this was not a routine game like I was expecting. We were pegged back. I think it was Clark Harris made it 1-1, and the Posh back on level terms. To be fair, they could have been leading in the first half. I was really struggling to play my best football. We had a good chance here 40 minutes in. Humphreys dribbling caused some problems. Matondo back heel to Gavin. Shot block, but dropped straight to Ben Davis. And Big Ben gets us back in front right before the break. And oh, I'm telling you, this guy is going to stay here until retirement. We've talked about it. He's going nowhere. And when he joined us in League One, part of the project, not for the paycheck. This is his 3rd year with the club. He's still not retired yet. He might be in his early 30s, but he doesn't want to retire yet. He wants Newport County up. And after Norwich lost once again at home to Bournemouth, and West Brom could only manage to draw at home to Rotherham, we've now gone 13 clear of West Bromwich Albion, which is guaranteed promotion to the Championship with 4 games to go. The Baggies have been faltering like crazy, and to be fair on Norwich as well, we're now 9 points clear of the Canaries with 4 games to go. And that would mean if we would win our following game against Preston at Rodney Parade and Norwich failed to match our result, then we would be champions with 3 games to spare. And I was sitting there heading into the game thinking, I think it's going to happen, you know, I really do. And I'll tell you the reason why as well, because I've mentioned it many times before. Norwich have the best team in the division. They are the highest rated side. They are 4.5 stars. So to be where they are right now and to have pushed us every step of the way this season, we've been neck and neck with them throughout the entire campaign, really, in the battle for the top 2. It's obviously not a surprise they're doing so well and still have that chance as, oh my god, how dramatic was that, by the way, have that chance of going up and possibly as winners as well. But I've talked about how form in FIFA CM is just so OP. And listen, I'm a firm believer in form and, you know, the mentality that good form and bad form can bring. But again, it is just so strong. And after Preston took the lead here 13 minutes, and you might have seen it flash up in the top right. Maybe I was distracted by it. That's the excuse I use. Norwich were 1-0 down at home at Carrow Road to Barnsley. But it's not surprising to me because form is just so OP, both for the AI clubs and for yours as well. How many times do you go on like an unbeaten stretch of like 12, 13, 14 games? You go into every game and it feels like every single one of your players is Superman. Like they can literally do anything. But then when you're in like bad form, you've lost like 3 on the bounce, for example, every game you go into, your players are stuck in the mud. They can't run, they can't pass, they can't shoot, they can't do anything. And it's because of form and the way that the AI is also impacted, the AI clubs should say, are also impacted by EA's way of determining how strong form should be. It's too strong, in my opinion. You know, teams, if they start to struggle, they will struggle repeatedly until they eventually snap out of it, and then they'll go the other way, and then they'll start to be in form for a long period of time. And then again, they'll lose it, and then they'll drop off the pace, and they'll struggle again. And it's just kind of a little bit too overpowered. Form is a real thing, of course it is. When a team's in good form, of course you expect them to keep it going and have a better chance in their following games. When they're in bad form, yeah, naturally it's going to be tough for them to snap out of it. But it's a little bit too OP for me. Norwich should not be losing back-to-back in games where they should be winning, chasing promotion, especially at home, and possibly, as you saw in this game here against Preston, lose 3 on the bounce. The Baggies the exact same. They pushed it all the way, and then suddenly they couldn't buy a win. And it's just a little bit too OP, like I said, and it goes the same for your human control club as well. when you're in bad form and you start to struggle a little bit, it's really, really tough to snap out of it. But eventually when you do and you start winning 2, 3, 4 on the bounce, you're almost unstoppable at those moments. And that's why heading to the game against Preston, I felt confident if we'd win this, we'd probably be champions on the day. And despite Preston taking the lead, we turned the game on its head at the expense, unfortunately, of Lloyd's injury. But after Humphreys wrapped it up, I wasn't surprised to see this. Yeah, full-time whistle. We'd already guaranteed promotion due to West Brom's struggles in recent weeks, but this confirmed it here. Norwich clearly could not beat Barnsley at Carrow Road, and that would mean we were championship champions with 3 games to spare. And it was just really anticlimactic, because the way that Norwich have pushed us every step of the way throughout a lot of the first half of the season, we got to a terrible start, 2 wins in 6, but ever since then we got on that 17-game unbeaten run. And again, that shows the importance of form, and it was just like we weren't going to get stopped. But Norwich, again, to have potentially lost 3 straight in the close-out to this season, it's just a bit of a shame. But as Davis stands alongside Humphreys, we finally won a trophy 4 seasons in, and we finally won some silverware. Yeah, better late than never. That's the saying we always use. And there it is, our first piece of silverware of the save. Took a while, but there it is, 2nd year in the championship, and I guess you'd probably call this like revenge season, if you will. I kind of went into this season feeling like, okay, last season we finished 10th, and that's not a bad season, our first year in the championship, but we had an outside shot at the playoffs, and I bottled it towards the end. I wasn't going to let it happen again. I was determined to make sure that this season, the lowest we finished with playoffs. And I said at the very start of the season, because of how competitive division this was, top 10 wouldn't be bad again. But if I'm being honest, and I was honest to myself, I was like, anything lower than the playoffs, and I've disappointed myself here. There's no doubt about it. I always knew there's an outside shot at the top 2, but again, it's the form towards the end that really caused it for me. West Brom slipping up once again, only managing a 2-2 draw, and Norwich losing 3-0 at home to Barnsley for their 3rd straight defeat when chasing the title as the highest rated team in the division. Yeah, I've said it earlier and I'll say it once again. Listen, form is a real thing. It should be in the game, but it's just a little bit too OP because it made the title a little bit anticlimactic, I was expected to be pushed with Norwich every step of the way, all the way through to match day 46. I thought maybe we might potentially have a chance at winning it, a game to go, but I did not expect to win it with 3 games remaining, going, I think it's 12 points clear with 3 games remaining, where so soon ago we were literally like 1 point behind. Like, what? But again, it shows the importance of form in FIFA CM, and I really do hope that EA look into it. Again, for our 4th game to this episode, I was going to play the final 3 games, even though they were technically meaningless, because we had a chance at getting to the 100-point mark, which we would do with the point there away at Ashton Gate against Bristol City. Our winning run halted by the Robins of all the teams to halt us. Bristol City, yeah, one of our division rivals throughout the course of the series. Oh, I love them really. But even so, yeah, goalless draw there away at Ashton Gate in a 0-0 draw. But you would have seen it again. Norwich once again slipped up. So no wins in their last 4 games. Absolutely bizarre. And it'll be in our final 2 games of the season at home to Reading and away at Pride Park against Derby County as well. With very little to play for. I got to 100-point mark. Ravi Matondo had won the goal scoring record. And the Golden Boot had been his since like January. Basically, I really didn't mind what was going to happen in our final 2 games. I played a few of my youth academy grads I hadn't given that much game time to this season, just to see how they were going to get on, whether they had much of a future with us or not. But we lost the game here against Reading by a goal to 0 and then celebrated wildly, even though we'd already lifted the title 2 games. So I don't quite know what that was about. But even so, lost the game by a goal to 0. So our nice unbeaten stretch comes to an end here. And I thought it was really interesting too. After the game, Dylan Levitt, as we know, he's been on loan here this season, but he tore his ACL back in October, I think it was. And he's barely played. Well, of course he can't play. He's had the ACL. He was done for the season right at the start of the campaign, which is so frustrating because we brought him in on loan for the 3rd straight year. But of course he has a really high weekly wage. And you would have seen it, I couldn't afford to terminate his contract and send him back to Old Trafford. So he's just been sat here, picking up a paycheck from both Newport County and Manchester United. But he's done for the season. He's injured. He can't play. It's been ridiculous. But even so, he says he wants to make the move permanent. And I've got to say, at 72 overall, I'm not actually sure anymore, because, Levitt had the potential. Obviously, when we first had him on loan back in Season 2 in League 1, we signed him in the January window. But now, again, he's downgraded because of the serious injury and the serious ACL. I'm sitting there thinking, we've got this young lad, Scott Boyd, out of the academy. I mean, he's 67 overall and shows great potential. Ben Davies isn't going to retire anytime soon, it seems. Do I want to bring him back permanently next season? I don't know. I guess I'll have to think about it. But yeah, for our final game of the Championship, this was way more anticlimactic than I was expecting heading into the episode today. Derby County away, Pride Park towards the bottom of the table, taking on Rooney's Rams here. Fell behind for levelling it, and then we conceded a really contentious penalty. I've got to be honest here, to me, that did not look like a spot kick. I've noticed this year that penalties, and quite a few of them, are quite debatable, both the ones you win and concede as well. I wasn't sure about that one there. I thought Brandon Cooper won the ball first, but evidently it was still given. And whilst we would level it towards the end, 9 minutes to go, Gavin Humphreys smashing one in. Delighted to see the captain get what was eventually the final goal of the Championship season for us. It finishes 2-2, so a bit of a disappointing run to end the season off. We win none of our remaining 3 and only pick up 2 points from a possible 9. But I guess you could say I kind of took my foot off the gas pedal because we knew that the title was already in the bag. So you look at the final league table, as you could see, West Brom pipped Norwich on the final day. They didn't win any of their 6 remaining games, I think. And no, they might have won the last game, but West Brom pipped them on goal difference and are going up with us, although we finished 10 points clear of both. So it's Norwich dropping into the playoffs alongside Coventry, Bournemouth and Watford. Talk about your chokes from the Canaries there, but again, it does show you how form is a little bit too OP for me. And the Borough, the Posh and the Millers got relegated. Having said that, Norwich are coming up with us because they won the playoffs and beat Bournemouth 2-1 in the final. That is the ultimate flex from Dean Smith's Canaries, isn't it? You win, I think, none of your last 6 games and go from potential title winners to dropping into the playoffs with a horrendous run of form as Rabi wins both the Golden Boot and the assist title, as well at the expense of teammate Gavin Humphreys, and Price wins the Golden Glove as well. You literally just say to the boys in the Championship, say to us in West Brom, you guys get promoted, you lift the trophy, you go up automatically. We want to do it in the playoffs. That's like Norwich saying, we know how good we are. We just want to play an extra few games just to prove it in the playoffs and get the extra TV money as well. That's what Norwich were thinking. We don't want to go up automatically. We want the TV money from the playoffs. So that was ridiculous. But even so, they're coming up with us alongside West Brom too. And as for the bottom 3 in the Premier League, now take this with a pinch of salt. Brighton, Nottingham Forest and Fulham are the 3 teams that are relegated. However, as I always say, take those league tables with a pinch of salt. Those should be the 3 teams that are going down, but it might change the next time I reload the save. The other leagues, they always chop and change when you reload the save, so I'm not sure if that will be the case. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Regardless, as you can see, Everton won the Carabao Cup, Man City won the FA Cup, Milan beat Fiorentina in the Europa Conference League, Juve won the Europa League, and as for the Champions League, it was Atletico Madrid's Diego Simeone winning a Madrid derby. Oh yeah, another repeat of that in the Champions League final. I'd pay to see that. The last one was so good. But even so, there we go. We are promoted to the Premier League. We are Championship winners. It is our first title of the series. But I think it might be a few good years before we're able to win another trophy as well. Like I mentioned before, we're now 4 seasons in. It's our first piece of silverware. And we're making great progression. You know, the team now is up to a 4-star team. As I run you through the squad here, I'd say we're on the cusp of becoming a 4.5-star team. We'll probably do it over the summer window. So there's no doubt about it. To me, we deserve a place in the Premier League, which we're going up to next season. But the one thing I do feel like I need to do is definitely get a couple more star players in here if we're to start competing for domestic cups and a place in Europe as well. I can't see in our first year in the Premier League pulling off an incredible season and qualifying for a European competition and finishing in the top 7. That's quite unlikely, to be fair, in our first year. With all the great teams that are in the Premier League, I think we're probably looking at bottom half in the first season. I back myself to avoid the bottom 3. But even so, it's going to be a rude awakening when we get to the top tier because we've faced 2 Premier League sides so far in this series, both in the FA Cup, of course. First, Southampton back in Season 1. And if you remember, we went to a replay and lost the replay 7-0. So it was just a bit embarrassing. And then this season away at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea in the FA Cup last 16, we lost 3-0. And to be honest, we could have lost like 4, 5, 6-0 had their finishing been better. So yeah, it's going to be a rude awakening when we play top tier football on a weekly basis. But if this guy is as good as he's been in the Football League, we've definitely got a chance at maybe finishing mid-table / top 10. Humphreys up to 83 overall at just 18 years old. 14 goals and 21 assists. And I've talked about it. He could be the first and only player that I'll ever have in any of my career mode saves that hits 90 overall as a teenager. He's got a chance. He's got about a year and a half to grow 6 ratings. But if anyone can do it, it's Gavin Humphreys. Can he do it? I gotta say, this is like a really interesting side mission for me. Can I get Humphreys to 90 overall at no older than 19? Now, that would be an achievement in itself, and I'll certainly be paying a very close attention to his development plans and giving the best possible chance at doing that. Regardless, the team is young, it's growing all the time. We've got some great youth players right there through the system as well. And also, I love this too. Rabbi Matondo on the final day of the season has finally become a striker. That wrapped up episode 50 for me absolutely perfectly. Rabbi is now an official striker, from winger playing out of position to centre forward to official striker. Oh, God, it could have been done so much quicker, but like we said, better late than never. Just like winning the title, better late than never. So there we go, we are up to the Premier League. Ben Davis at 84 overall is staying in. I don't know what we need to improve in the summer to give us the best possible chance at a successful first year in the Premier League. Maybe more quality in depth, maybe a stronger back line. I'm not entirely sure, but as a 4-star team, I'm very much looking forward to it. Newport County finally win their first piece of silver after a magical second season in the Championship, winning the Championship, reaching the last 16 in the FA Cup, and it's safe to say now as we enter the big time, I'm excited for the next chapter of this series. But that will end today's episode of Club and Country, guys. I just want to say real briefly, once again, a massive thank you for all supporting the series so far. 50 episodes down, our first milestone here, and plenty more to come, I'm sure. I'm having an absolute blast making this series for you. The support's been amazing. Thank you so much, and I can't wait for our Premier League season to begin in the next episode. Thanks for watching the special, guys. Really hope you enjoyed. If you had, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode at the beginning of a brand new season, Season 5, and our first year in the Premier League with Newport County very soon.